Frankenstein. But let's ask the real question. Who was the actual monster here? Okay, so you think you know the story, right? Big green guy, bolts in the neck, grunting, the whole deal. But what if I told you that almost everything you've seen in the movies, it's wrong? Like, completely wrong. So that's what we're going to do today. We are opening up this cold case. We're going to follow the evidence. We're going to hear the testimony. And we are going to ask the one question that just flips this entire story on its head. What if the monster was really the victim? All right, let's dive in. Every good investigation has a starting point, a crime zero. And this one, it kicks off with the murder of a child. So here's our first victim, a little boy, William Frankenstein. He's found dead in a field, strangled. And the only clue? The print of a single massive finger on his neck. Chilling. And get this, look how fast everything escalates. One evening, the boy disappears. By 5 a.m. the next day, his body is found. And almost immediately, the people in charge pin it on the family's servant, Justine. Why? Because a locket that William was wearing suddenly turns up in her pocket. It feels a little too convenient, right? She's tried, condemned, and executed. Boom. Case closed. Or is it? Not even close. Because here's the first bombshell. We have a confession, but it's from the victim's own brother, Victor Frankenstein. He later admits he knew who the real murderer was. He actually saw this giant, monstrous figure fleeing the scene. He knew Justine was innocent. And he said absolutely nothing. He just stood by and let an innocent woman hang. Right away, this tells you something is seriously wrong with our star witness, Victor. So you gotta ask, right? Why would he stay silent? What could possibly be so important that he'd let someone die for it? Well, it's because Victor Frankenstein was hiding a dark secret of his own. Okay, so it turns out Victor wasn't just a student. He had this side hustle. He was obsessed with unlocking the secret to life. So what does he do? He starts robbing graves and hitting up slaughterhouses for, parts. He stitches them all together into this 8-foot-tall man, and then, boom, he brings it to life. Now, in his head, this creation was gonna be beautiful, a masterpiece. But the reality, it was a total nightmare. The yellow skin, the watery eyes, the black lips, it was horrifying. He immediately calls his creation a wretch, a complete and utter disaster. And this, right here, is the key moment in the entire story. The second his creation opens its eyes and takes a breath, Victor is so repulsed he just runs for it. He literally ghosts his own creation. He just leaves this being basically a newborn in an 8-foot body, all alone and confused on a table. This is the ultimate act of parental neglect. This is where it all begins. Okay, so this is where our investigation takes a huge turn, because now we're going to hear from the prime suspect himself. We're getting the monster's side of the story. This is his testimony. So this poor creature, abandoned from birth, just wanders off into the woods. He's totally alone. Eventually, he finds this little cottage and hides out in a shed next to it. And for months, he just watches the family that lives there. And this is his school. This is how he learns about the world. He learns what language is, what a family is. He learns about kindness and love just by watching them. And as he's watching, he starts to feel these new, powerful emotions. He describes it as a mix of pain and pleasure. He's developing empathy. He's learning what it means to be human. See, this isn't some grunting zombie. This is a thinking, feeling being who desperately wants to connect with others. And get this, he's a genius. He literally teaches himself to speak and read just by listening and finding some lost books. He even starts doing these little secret acts of kindness for the family, like chopping their firewood at night. He's trying so hard to be good. The only problem? He catches his own reflection in a pond one day and is absolutely horrified by what he looks like. But he still has this one little bit of hope. Maybe, just maybe, if they hear his voice, they'll accept him. So he makes his move. He waits until the old man of the house, who's blind, is all alone. And it works. They start talking, having a real, genuine conversation. The old man accepts him because he can't see him. But then, the rest of the family comes home, and all they see is the monster. They freak out, they scream, they attack him with a stick, and they chase him away. Just like that. And That's the moment everything changes. That is his breaking point. Abandoned by his creator, and now violently rejected by the only people he ever tried to connect with. He finally snaps. And his motive couldn't be clearer. He says it himself. I was a good person, but being miserable all the time made me a monster. The world's hatred finally turned him into the very thing they were afraid of. So now he's full of rage, and he has one target in mind, the person who started it all, his creator, Victor. And when they finally meet, the creature makes a chilling threat. So the creature finds Victor and gives him an ultimatum. You made me miserable and alone, he says. So make me a female companion, someone like me, and I promise we will disappear forever. You'll never see us again. And Victor, unbelievably, agrees. He starts building a female creature. He's almost done. And then, with his first creation watching through the window, Victor tears her to pieces. He destroys the creature's one and only chance at happiness right in front of his eyes. And this final, cruel betrayal is the last straw. The creature looks Victor dead in the eye and delivers one of the most terrifying lines in all of literature. I will be with you on your wedding night. Now, here's where Victor's massive ego just seals everyone's fate. He hears that threat, and what does he think? Oh, he's coming to kill me. He thinks it's all about him. So on his wedding night, he's armed with pistols and a dagger, patrolling the halls, ready for a big showdown. And where's his new wife, Elizabeth? Alone, unprotected. He is so self-centered, he can't even imagine the threat might be for someone else. And that fatal mistake, it leads us to the final bloody chapter of this whole tragedy. This is where the bill for all of Victor's actions finally comes due. And the price is steep. Let's just run down the final body count, the collateral damage from Victor's choices. First, his little brother, William. Then, the innocent servant, Justine. Then his best friend, Henry. Then his new wife, Elizabeth, killed on their wedding night, just like the creature promised. And finally, his own father, who literally dies from grief. Everyone Victor ever cared about is gone. And so, our case file closes with this. Victor Frankenstein, now obsessed with nothing but revenge, chases his creation to the ends of the earth, all the way to the Arctic. But he's not strong enough. His body just gives out. He dies cold, alone, and a total failure, completely destroyed by the life he created and then abandoned. So there you have it. That's all the evidence. On one side, you have the creator, Victor, a man who abandoned his child at birth, who stood by while an innocent woman was executed for his mistake, and who broke every single promise he ever made. On the other side, you have his creation, a being who started out good, who just wanted to be loved, but was driven to violence after being rejected and hated by literally everyone he met. So, now that you've heard the whole story, you be the jury. Who was the real monster here?